to the 38th Annual SealBeach Classic Car Show. I'm Kristyn Burtt. We're going to take a look at some of the over 600 cars on display with some fascinating stories from their owners. We are here with Fred Wing and his 1970 Honda AN600. Fred, good to see you.
Good to see you.
I know that this has drawn a lot of attention here at the SealBeach Auto Show. So tell us a little bit about when you bought this vehicle, what you've done to it. Give us a little history.
Well, this vehicle, I originally bought it about 14 to 15 years ago. I actually have a Honda AZ600 as well that's still original. And I was actually on eBay looking for parts for that when this thing popped up on eBay. And for the amount of work that had already been done to the car, it wasn't bidding up very high, or what I thought. I thought it was well worth it. So I threw a bid in on it, just hoping to get it, and I ended up being second bidder, but the first bidder never showed up. So
lucky for you.
Yeah, so I was able to pick the car up, and I finished detailing it and did some other upgrading to it, stuff that hadn't been done to it, and I've just been enjoying it ever since.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this, because this is the first model imported by Honda for sale in the US, correct?
Exactly. This was the first model that they used. This is a late production 1970 model. So they started building them actually in 1969, but they were all technically supposed to be 1970 models during those years of production. They did make some 71s in this model, but by 72, it became the Z600. And they kind of registered them by dates sold back in those days. Some of them were sold originally at motorcycle dealers because they couldn't get car dealers. Get that little toy out of here. We don't want anything to do with that. So they were sold at motorcycle dealers as well as some of the car dealers that took them on.
What is the favorite little detail on your Honda AN600 that you love?
Well, the interesting thing about this is it has an engine that's similar to a motorcycle engine. So there's a bunch of people that come up and say, oh, it has a motorcycle engine. Well, no, it doesn't. It has a lot of similarities to a motorcycle engine, but they never used this engine in any motorcycles that they ever made. But both Road and Track and Car and Driver, when they first did the original press intros on these models, they called it a motorcycle engine. And it's something that's stuck with it for over 50 years. That, oh, it's got a motorcycle engine. Nope. It's a car engine. It was only made for this car.
What's the detail in the interior that we must see on this vehicle?
The most interesting thing on this one is probably the fact that the gear shifter has a big articulated gear shifter that kind of comes out of the dashboard.
Oh.
Because the engine is set far forward in this car, being air cooled, so that it can get the airflow over it. And the transmission is contained in the back and near the bottom of that engine. So your gear shift lever is ultimately about this long and goes through a couple of different U-joints to get to there. So people come in and look at the dashboard and go like, why does the gear shifter come out of the dashboard? Well, because it has to hook up to the transmission. The transmission isn't under the front seats like in a conventional car.
Fred, always good to see you. Thank you so much. This is fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
We've got a beauty of a car right in front of us, the 1964 Ford Falcon Sprint, but Rick Grebner might have one of the most spectacular stories when it comes to this vehicle. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your parents, right?
Yeah.
Tell us this history, because I read a little bit about it and I was like, oh, it is so sweet.
Yeah, you're going to make me tear up. I was just thinking about it. Yeah, so my dad grew up with cars, right? One of those old 60s hot rodders. You think about Grease, that was my mom and dad. So I grew up with my dad working on cars and hot rods, if you will. So he and I bought this car 20 years ago. And they live back in Iowa. So I was kind of the silent partner out here in Southern California. They built in Iowa. So my mom and dad building it. We worked together over the years back and forth. So we never finished a car. ever, right? We've gone through all kinds of cars, never finished it. This is the first one we ever finished. So my dad's health back was getting bad, so I said, Dad, let's finish this car. So we ended up finishing this car right before COVID, or I tore into it, and I lost both my parents within 2 weeks of one another. So unfortunately, I never saw it finished, but it's really prideful, right? To take this car, they had it for years, they drove it together all the time. If you happen to look at the plaque, the last picture taken of them together was driving this car at a COVID cruise they had back in a small town in Iowa, and the sun was setting in the background. It's really kind of a touching photo. So
you guys we'll have to get a close up of this photo,
Yeah.
because watching them sort of drive away is so poignant. Honestly,
It really
made
was.
me tear up when I was just seeing that. So I said, I know car owners are very emotional about their cars, but I was like, this story is particularly special.
yeah,
So
it is kind of special.
let's just talk about the vehicle itself. Obviously, you've got a lot of personal attachment to it, but let's talk about the mechanics of it. Let's talk about the performance. What's underneath the hood?
Yeah, so actually we bought this off eBay.
I love that.
Off eBay 20 years ago, had completely redone it. It's got a 347 four-stroker underneath, Mustang 2 front suspension, C4 automatic transmission, completely redone the rear end. It's got a 4-link rear. We wanted to build it kind of timeless, right? So it's not dated. So wanted to keep it stock, but it's far from stock right now. I mean, it's got all digital gauges, but they look stock right now. The interior we kept pretty much the same. One thing's unique, if you look, it's got a bench seat, which I love bench seats, right? This car mostly came with buckets, but I didn't want to put buckets, so we left a bench. So pretty much left it stock, just updated it.
And I've got to imagine you're not parting with this vehicle at any point.
No, my wife is kind of sitting behind us, and we were at a show, and somebody literally walked up with a blank check. It was like, nope, and her eyes got about this big, and so no, this car is staying in the family.
You think about it for a moment, and then you're like, no, this vehicle's
Yeah.
priceless.
Yeah, it is. It is priceless. It's a family story. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with us, Rick. It's so nice to meet you, and this is a beauty of a vehicle.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
bet.
Thank you very much.
Could not pass this beauty by. A 1973 Ford Bronco. Let's talk with Mario Morales about this. This is incredible. I have to ask, because I'm 5'3", what's the ground clearance on this one? I feel very short next to it.
It's probably about 10 inches, honestly.
That is amazing. And how did you come to acquire this?
I bought it about a year ago off of Hemmings on the internet, and the way you see it now, maybe the only thing that's original is the paint and the engine, and I kind of redid the whole thing, honestly.
So did you do all this work yourself, or did you do it in conjunction with a few other people?
In conjunction with a lot of people, actually. Like the whole suspension was one guy, the interior was another guy, and some of it myself, yeah.
So when you brought it home, what was your vision? Were you just thinking the first thing I'm going to tackle is the engine or the interior? What did you work on first?
I worked on fixing leaks. Was the first thing.
Yes.
Fixing leaks.
Mechanics, yes.
Mechanics, let's make it go and stop. Yeah, I redid the whole brake, so I made sure, because all the lines looked rusted. I paid so much for it because I had hard eyes for it when I saw it. Once it was home, I noticed that maybe it wasn't as nice as I thought it was, you know? So I redid the whole thing, yeah.
But I don't think you have buyer's remorse now.
Not now.
But at the time?
Maybe a couple months back, yeah, I did, honestly.
Okay, when it comes to the exterior, what is the favorite aspect? When you look at this now, you're like, oh, it's my favorite.
Honestly, the height, and when people buy Broncos and they have this is what you call an uncut Bronco, that's all original. The body is uncut, meaning the rear wells are not cut, and the stance is a lot of people do not put 35s on an uncut Bronco, and everybody asks, oh, what's your height? What's your lift that you put on? And what's the tire size? Because they don't know that I put 35s on an uncut Bronco, you know what I mean?
Talk about the mechanics of the vehicle, too.
It has an original 302 engine. We can look at it if you want.
Yeah, we would love to see it.
Let's look at it.
There we go.
It's an original 302 Ford engine, and you know, I kept the original engine. A lot of people do the Coyote swaps.
Right.
They put the new 5.0s. Honestly, I could do that too, but it runs so good that I didn't want to change it.
We were talking about, a couple of us were talking about the interior and how gorgeous it was. What do you love about the interior of your Ford Bronco?
The color. I changed the color. It used to be a ugly white interior. Hideous, and it was like more modern, so I went back to the original type interior.
I love the houndstooth in there.
The houndstooth. Everybody likes the houndstooth.
So perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the perfect Southern California car.
Exactly. I bought a hardtop for it. I didn't have a hardtop when I bought it, and I bought one and still haven't put it on.
I was like, you don't need it that often. It doesn't rain here that much.
It does not. It does not. It's just, honestly, it's rusting, just sitting there.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? As we started talking about it, opened the hood, look at the crowds.
Exactly.
I've got to imagine you draw a lot of crowds. And what do people say about your vehicle?
They think it's like a Barbie truck. They a lot of, you get that, and you get like that's a cool like cowboy, type truck. But
so you're either a cowboy or you're Barbie and Ken.
yeah,
I love
it. Exactly.
We are here with Steve Jansen, his 1965 Buick Riviera, and I've got to tell you, this color made us stop. What color? How do you describe this?
They call it a jade green.
It is a stunner. How did you decide on this color?
Fighting with my painter to paint it this color. He really didn't want green, but I wanted green. It's my favorite color. So we decided to go with this.
Okay, because it's a showstopper, and you know this, right?
I've had, a lot of people like it.
All right, tell us about your history with this vehicle. How long have you owned it? What draw you to it?
I came out of Idaho. My father-in-law found it up there. I've been looking for a 65 Riviera for a few years, and he found it. So sent it down. It's not the car I was expecting, so had to go through the whole thing. It's original 401, nail head in it. Everything's original, but all been redone. And then I shaved everything off, of course, to make it a custom. Put airbags, reupholstered it.
Amazing. And I've got to ask, did you do all of the work yourself? Did you do it in conjunction with other people?
In conjunction with other people.
All right, so what's your favorite aspect outside of the color on the exterior here?
Probably the lights, the clamshells.
Those really draw you on the vehicle?
Yes, because it's only a year like that.
And then when you look on the interior, what is the one thing that stands out to you?
Probably the dash, the wood panels.
Now I want to know, are you a veteran of the SealBeach Classic Car Show, or is this your first time here?
No, I've been here probably about 12 years.
All right, what makes it so special, different than other car shows out here in Southern California?
Oh, all the people. It's so many people here. I'm from Lakewood, so it's close to home, but it's just a special show. I mean, you have many people everywhere to see the car, and everybody's very friendly.
And I've got to ask, what is the reaction when people see your car? What are the things that you hear over and over again?
Oh, beautiful.
It's the color, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be the color.
I'm here with Greg Clark with his 1965 Porsche 356C Cabriolet, and Greg has promised us a really good story. I know, we're setting the bar high. Tell me what it's all about.
Well, I mean, I'm a huge Porsche fan, have had Porsches. You know, this has been a fantastic car. I bought it about 3 years ago, and the motivation for the purchase was about 5 years ago, had a medical issue, had a heart transplant.
Oh.
But after coming through that very successfully, my wife said, go out and find a car. You know, this was a car I picked, and this is what I've been enjoying, and it's a wonderful situation. So, you know, go out and enjoy life, and that's what I'm doing. So,
Greg, I'm an empathy crier, so I'm going to sit here and cry along with you. This is amazing, though, because, you know, when you probably feel like you have a second chance at life with the heart transplant, and again, getting to put your passion into something like this. Talk about how maybe you've restored this vehicle.
Well, no, thank God I just bought it like this, because I don't have the patience at all to go through a 4 or 5 year restoration. So this was fully restored when I bought it. It actually was fully restored almost 25 years ago. And so it is what it is when I bought it. So I was able just to get in it, drive it, and enjoy it. But it's fully numbers matching, which is important in a lot of the restoration world. Came black and red leather from the factory. 75 horsepower engine, so don't be behind me at a stoplight because you'll probably pass me on the way. But it's been a fantastic ride, and it's worked fantastic.
Okay, under the hood.
Yeah.
What is your under the hood? Because it's over here, it's a Porsche. What is your absolute favorite aspect of it?
Well, I mean, it's a flat 4, and it's air cooled, so I'll never overheat when I wait pulling into a car show, and you have to wait. No overheating because there's no radiator. It's just air cooled. It's 4-cylinder, and it works fantastic. This car is actually, since the 65, it's 6-volt. So, you know, everything is a little bit slower, a little bit lighter, a little bit easier to work, but it's so simple, very analog. There's nothing that is too complicated, and that works for me. 4-speed, 4-cylinder, 75 horsepower, let's have fun.
Yeah, sometimes we get things a little bit too complicated. I mean, software is nice in all of our electronics in our vehicles now, but there's something about the vehicles that were built in the 50s and 60s and 70s that are just incredible.
Indeed.
Interior-wise, I know you were talking a little bit about this is exactly how it was when it came off the factory lot, but I'm curious, what's your favorite detail in the interior?
The wood steering wheel. I've always been a fan of wood. You don't see them very often now, current cars, but vintage cars, if you can get a wood steering wheel, that's fantastic. And the most important thing, or the funnest, no top. California, here we are, beautiful day, get out, put the top down, and drive around. So that's been what's fun about it. You know, it can fit 2 people. It actually has 2 little seats in the back, but I don't know if that would work besides having some luggage. Yep.
You know, in terms of the Porsche fan base, I know that people are very passionate about the Porsches. What do you hear from Porsche fans when they see your vehicle?
They either told me that they wish they had, you know, I wish I hadn't sold it, or is it for sale? That's usually the big questions I have. If it's not for sale, I'm happy to have it, I'm gonna enjoy it, and I tell people my wife will be the one selling it, meaning I'm not around anymore, so what the heck, so.
No, you're here with us, Greg, and you're gonna enjoy this.
When that happens, we'll be ready to go. But, you know, this SealBeach, you know, car show is a fantastic, you know, I've tried to get in and get good spots, and thank goodness to some friends that I've been able to get into this spot right now and enjoying myself, so.
Well, it's great that you're able to tell your story, and we appreciate you telling your story with us today.
We'll keep it.
Wishing you the best of health and enjoying this beautiful 1965 Porsche.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Have fun.
You bet. Let's take a look at this year's selection, judged as Best in Show. That's a wrap from the 2026 SealBeach Classic Car Show. I'm Kristyn Burtt. I hope you enjoyed seeing some great cars and hearing some incredible stories. We'll see you next time.